And welcome back to part 2 of our epic finale, where I guess there's explosives that I didn't really expect, but you know, things happen. Things happen. So, you two, Sarah and Kepler, you got pulled out. You'll be mostly okay. But because it was a failed roll, failed with a consequence, succeeded with a consequence. That consequence is that you're not entirely unscathed from this event. So some part of the injuries from this, or like I'll give you, like you're taking a trait. So it could be physical. It could be what is it? Not a trait. Sorry, value. No, it's a trait. Okay, it's a trait. I'm still not sure. You're taking a trait. It could be a physical thing like lameness. It could also be like mental.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Wow.
Like, funny. After that explosion, Sarah was so
really lame.
Got really lame.
After that explosion, you were like so lame. I would say
hang, but you don't anymore.
I would say if it's a mental trait, we could go ahead and put it as a value, so that I could challenge that. If it's physical, then we'll go ahead and put that in traits and lower your fitness by 1.
Oh.
So you choose what happens to you because of this explosion. And then because we're like skipping ahead a little bit, unless we aren't, if you want to continue like while you guys are still passed out, but I think it makes sense that we'd skip ahead till when you are out of your emergency surgery, in which case you would mark all your stress cleared because it's a new scene.
Okay. I was gonna go to the medical bay too to meet up. I wanted to just discuss what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll skip ahead a little bit until y'all are both out of surgery. We'll remove your stress and take whatever injury you intend to take. You can totally narrate that in terms of Lieutenant Archer walks into the sick bay. There are 4 beds, that 2 of which are currently occupied by Commander Kepler and Commander Sar, who are, as the doctors indicating, just now waking up. I'm assuming that you, Archer, probably only left before because you had the doctor tell you that they would inform you.
Right, I'm sure I was just like, like on the window.
Yes. You're also welcome to come see either of your officers if you would like, Dren, but let's give Archer a little bit to come in here, and then we can, if you would like to also come in and visit your officers, you can as well. So, Archer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come in and, you know, pretty much run up to Sar and Kepler and just, you know, say like, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's not your fault at all. How on earth? Why would you think it's your fault?
I tried my best. I just followed orders. I did all I could, and those people are still starving. There's nothing we can do.
Are we in our own rooms, or am I close enough to hear this?
Oh, you're right there.
Yeah.
The usual way that med bays work is there's 2 beds. There's not typically any kind of like privacy screen unless like something's going on, in which case they would put it up. But if you're just in recovery, then
we're superior officers. I didn't want to take that chance.
Nope, you're fine. You're right out there.
Sweet. Continue, please.
No privacy in hospitals. I don't know.
Yeah, she's just waiting for Kepler to say why it's not her fault.
Yeah, okay. It was a tough situation, Archer, but nothing that you could have prevented. They came to the detonators. There were 2 of them. One of them had their phaser on us, or sorry, what's it called for them? Disruptor. One of them had their disruptors on us, and the other one shot the explosives. Nothing that you would have done could have changed it, but they were ready to die.
Lieutenant Archer, I would like you to know that in this situation, there was no perfect outcome. These people were intending to either kill us or kill everyone nearby. Their own lives were useless to them. So they've succeeded in that, but you did your job dutifully as a Starfleet officer.
And she like looks around. She's like, maybe, I don't know why I feel so bad about this. Maybe Starfleet just isn't for me.
I believe you may have let the mission get a little too close to home. Yes, we are injured. That happens. That is a part of Starfleet life. With that in mind, though, you are new. This was a very tough situation. This was a very tough mission. This is not something that you could have prepared for, and it's not something that you were trained for.
You don't think it's a little bit like washing our hands of responsibility, Sar? These people need us, and you don't think it's just the easy way out to say we're following orders, we're doing our best, and that's that?
That's not it entirely. I do believe that we've done our orders, but our mission here was to figure out what the deal was, what was going on with the Maquis. We do know that the Cardassians are mistreating them. And no, I don't agree in any stretch of the imagination that they should be allowed to continue. But our attempt today was primarily to stop them from taking more lives. Because the people in that blast were not just Cardassian, they were also the colonists. Our goal was to minimize the damage. We attempted this. They just so happened to be a bit better in this situation. So no, it's not about listening and following orders. It's about the preservation of life. We attempted that. We were not successful. Today, that is the case. That does not mean that we'll be unsuccessful tomorrow.
I mean,
I guess
from a standpoint of like they didn't succeed in everything. They did not blow up the whole security office. I'm sure like the officers that were on duty were like, you did save lives. So like, don't think that they got everything that they wanted and you didn't get anything. Like, you absolutely did. I just want to make sure that like you're clear that what you did didn't have zero effect, right?
Right. I'm more hinting at like, yeah, they blew some stuff up, but like, we got this.
Yes.
Better things are coming.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Continue.
Do you find this?
Archer's just listening. She's just kind of like wringing her hands, like nervously, like Tally in Mass Effect, just listening.
I guess that's what bothers me about this whole situation is, are we minimizing the damage in the long run? Are we doing the right thing in the long term? I mean, I will do what needs to be done. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking like this.
And Archer's like, no, I think sometimes what I've learned is we as Starfleet officers have to think about these things. It's not always, if there's no right outcome, then there's no right answer. And we have to use logic to come to our own conclusions sometimes. And it might be something we don't want to think, but we do.
I believe you are on the right path with that line of thinking, Lieutenant Archer. We did the best that we could in the situation that we were given. As Starfleet officers, we do want to ensure that we maintain life in all its forms. But in this situation, if you remember, our entire crew was against all of the negatives of the Cardassian space and the way that they've been treating these colonists.
But they're going to keep doing it. There has to be some way for Starfleet to come in and tell them to stop.
Beautifully.
Yeah,
helps.
so the captain...
Uh-oh.
Dren to sick bay.
Yes, Captain. This is Dr. something. This is Dr.
You can say yes, Captain. It's
Spitz.
fine.
Yes,
Dr.
Captain.
Spitz.
Dr.
Dr.
Spitz.
Spitz.
There you go. How are my troops there?
Sar and Kepler just woke up. I was about to inform you, Lieutenant Archer, and she's like in a like softer voice and definitely like in her office and not just like out in the room. She's like, Lieutenant Archer was very impatient to see them. She's already here.
All right, I'm on my way. And then, yep, I take a turbo lift to the sick bay.
Okay. So you guys have like a minute to talk if you want. I think the doctor, Dr. Spitz, would come in, and she's got very short cut brown hair. She's trill. She has the markings of a trill along her forehead and temples. And she would come over and let you know that the captain was coming, because she's heard like bits and pieces of your like moral conflicts, and she wants you to be prepared for like your commanding officer's about to come in. So, you know, yeah, she would just come in and let you know like the captain's on his way.
Thank you.
Just being a bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have anything you want to say specifically before the captain gets here, otherwise we'll just let him get here.
Yeah, I just look at Kepler and I'm just like, I feel like we could have done more.
We still can.
And we still will.
Okay, so then the captain can arrive, and
I kind of survey the scene. So what sort of injuries did they incur?
yeah, what did you guys choose?
Yeah.
You said that if we did a mental injury, it was
would be a value. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. What are you doing? Can I ask what Sarah is doing?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I'm not going to lie, if you're doing like a cybernetic arm, I might join you.
I'm leaning toward a cybernetic limb of some sort. I'm trying to figure out which one. I'm trying to figure out if I want like from the knee down to be cybernetic.
Yeah.
Or like
Starfleet, there's
Cybernetic eye.
a pretty good example in Deep Space Nine. The Ferengi Nog gets a prosthetic limb, and they have very good quality prosthetics. So like that's definitely an option, and it's sometimes the case that you can't just like fix things. So prosthetics are like definitely could happen.
I think I'll do from the left elbow down.
Okay.
Boss.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so we take one down from fitness, right?
yes.
Okay.
Until you can get your cybernetic prosthesis, it will cost you some amount of physical fitness because you're missing an arm.
Okay.
You'll get that back when you get a cybernetic limb. You might even be stronger once you get used to it.
Yeah,
But we're not continuing the show, so if we do later, then that will be the case.
I'm thinking from the right shoulder.
Okay. So
From
you're
the right
both
shoulder down,
you're both
cybernetic.
missing arms because there was an explosion, and it let's just say maybe you got like partially behind something with your legs before you were transported out. So it takes from and there's probably very pink healing skin in the places around where the injury is, because that was the most damaged of their bodies. The rest of their body, most of the burns will have been or are being currently treated by there's that thing that like heals wounds. Do you remember the little laser thing? Like they're probably like getting like laser passes over parts
It's like
of
the LED and like a piece of acrylic that's just like.
Yeah, there's a parts of their body that were most burned are getting like there's medical aids that are still passing those like lasers over those parts and helping to heal that skin.
Archer gets uncomfortably close to all of them. Just like
dermal regenerator. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So you're still like they went through surgery, and most of the more intense injuries were treated there. The limbs that could be saved, the part of the limb that could be saved was treated, and the rest was removed, or like maybe it was already partially removed. You know, explosions. And then they are being treated every once in a while. An aide will come over and like dermal regenerator. So that's the situation with their injuries.
All right.
Hello, Captain.
I see my orders for you to come back in one piece were not followed.
Always good for jokes at the most appropriate time, Captain.
On the right side, we've come back with more pieces than we originally left.
God damn.
We've got extra pieces, Captain.
Wow.
Now that joke I liked.
What happened down there?
They attempted to fire upon the lieutenant commander. I responded.
Who did?
The young gentleman that was in the barn with the curly hair.
Maquis.
Yes, sir.
So the Maquis detonated the explosives, so we didn't get all the detonate. Oh, he shot the explosives. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Yes. They had no regard for their own lives or the lives of anyone around.
That makes them more dangerous than we ever imagined. If they're willing to take their own lives in service of a cause, there's only few people who know that feeling.
They also said that the colonists were willing to give up their lives as well.
It's worse than I feared. I'm sorry, Commander.
I do not believe they spoke for everyone when they said, we are prepared to die, and others are prepared to die. I refuse to believe that young children would have made that decision. They're not old enough to make that decision.
Of
Right,
course
but
not.
So there's
Parents make the decisions for the children.
Yeah, I just mean that it's possible that there might be some colonists that are willing to do things that we maybe assumed that they wouldn't do. So we just need to be on the lookout. Literally anyone could be helping them.
And you guys would
Were
know
we,
that when they were offered to leave the colonies, when this became Cardassian space, people who were willing to leave would have. They weren't like, it wasn't like anyone was like peer pressured to stay. So like they're able to leave if they really wanted to. So the people who stayed are those more like radical people. So
How did would I have known about the evacuation, like how it went, if the Cardassians like left, and did they get harmed or whatever? Like reports of that, like
it's been enough time that you would have gotten word back from the surface, because there was the amount of time that it took for these two to be treated. What you know from what happened was there were no Cardassians in hearing distance when this situation between the Maquis and these two happened. They did not explode all of the explosives. It damaged the side of the building and the building next door to the Cardassian security office, but it did not nearly take down the entire thing as they wished. Your two security officers died, and there might have been two Cardassians, the ones that were coming around the corner that pushed the Maquis to action, that also died or were very, very badly injured, but everyone else was okay.
All right.
Wow.
Well, for the time being, it looks like...
Well, and the Maquis died, those two Maquis.
Yeah.
For the time being, it looks like we have foiled at least part of the Maquis plan to blow up the security building, but there's still the matter of the explosives we were unaware of. Do we have a report of those?
Yeah, the Cardassians would have scanned, like SAR and the Cardassians and Kepler scanned and located. They got above the threshold, so they located all of the explosives on the building. And the Cardassians, after this pile had been exploded, they would have gathered up and disposed of or put in a safe place the rest of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. For the time being, I want you guys to focus on healing, rest, get whatever care you need. I look to the doctor. These are two of the bravest soldiers I've ever had the pleasure to work with. You make sure you do everything in your power to make them whole again.
Yes, sir.
That's an order.
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys rest. You've done your job. I'm going to go tell the Cardassians what happened and tell Starfleet the bad news. I walk out.
All right. Anything more in the sick bay, or do we move forward to? You can definitely send your report. I don't think necessarily there's like an immediate response. They might like call you back, say like, okay, like obviously this is a big deal. Finish up.
Yeah. And I make sure to
mission.
stress the point of them being starved out, them being.
Oh yeah, you definitely have
all of that
reports
stuff.
and interviews from these people in terms of like the status, but it's definitely not the first time that the Federation has heard of the Cardassians being dickholes to people in the demilitarized zone. It's just that nothing is gone far enough that they're actually breaking the treaty, and that's probably what you hear back. Is that unless there is proof of like outright murder or like these type of terrorist acts on Federation colonies, it's the Federation colonists that you have proof of wrongdoing here, not the Cardassians.
Right.
The Cardassians are making things uncomfortable, but until you have like recorded proof of them like doing any of this,
it's very much like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
That's what they're doing. Yes, they're exactly that. So that's what you hear back from Starfleet is that unless you have recorded proof of Cardassians breaking the treaty, there's not much we can do.
Right. Well, then I contact the Cardassians to let them know that this could have been a lot worse. We lost soldiers. You lost soldiers. Do you want to RP that out, or do you want to just?
If it's important to you, we can. If you want to get something from the Cardassians in terms of like their cooperation or anything, I don't think that they are angry enough to go after you because we made the roll when you were talking to Golivek, and when they were talking to the Cardassians on the ground, they knew that you weren't setting the explosives, so they're not going to come after you. They're going after the Maquis. And they've definitely said that. Like, these people are in breach of the treaty by trying to explode stuff, and they will be answering to Cardassian law.
Oof.
Your stupid I'm not touching you thing worked, and now they're going to slaughter all these people, and I'm feeling uncomfortable about it.
Oh, it's that sporting tactic where you goad someone into hitting you, and then they get ejected from the game.
Exactly. Yep. That's very Cardassian.
Yeah.
Little spoonheads.
All right. Yeah, and I sent along my report of where their bases are and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So completed at least a little bit of the mission we came to do.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, could we potentially do the same thing? Could we do something crazy and try to get them to attack us?
If you want to like,
if we
get me back to medical, like
we can skip forward in time a little bit so that y'all are like healed up more, because I think that there's enough reason for like in terms of like no one's going to be like you have to leave right now. There's enough reason in terms of like interviewing colonists and what have you, like little bits of counting that you could do that could keep you here still for the few like 2 days that it takes them to recover enough to leave sickbay. If you want to have worked with Dr. Spitz to make prostheses for yourself and Kepler, you definitely already have like working replicated prosthesis.
Yeah. I'm going to contact my Starfleet officer, whoever's who's ever been put in charge of not in charge, but like the head of the colony.
Oh, Hudson?
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
I'm going to contact Hudson and tell him that this attack, this, mostly failed attack on the Cardassians they're going to come down on you hard. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did some public executions and stuff like that. I want them to know that the Bellerophon is ready to transport anybody off the colony
Great.
who wants to leave before the shit goes down, and we'll have quarters made for them and that kind of stuff. It might be cramped, but we'll get you off the planet into safety, because the next coming days are going to be bad for everyone.
And I think Hudson, like, you're probably on, like, in your ready room or somewhere, like, on comms with him. And he looks at you and says, if any of us intended to leave, we would have already, before this became Cardassian space. The colonists who remain, Captain, intend to stay. Those who are responsible for the attack, as I'm sure you know, have already met justice. And he's referring to the fact that the 2 people who were there are dead, and like blaming it all on them. The Cardassians will find no more proof of wrongdoing among us than you could find among them.
Fools.
I don't want you to get to get the wrong idea. I'm not trying to convince anyone to leave or stay. I'm just saying it is your duty as Starfleet and as a living, caring being to inform them that if they want to leave, we're here. That's all I'm saying.
I'll certainly pass it along, Captain.
Dren out.
And you know that he might like he might tell them, like, make a announcement, but nobody is gonna leave.
Sure. I mean, it's that.
Like, maybe you get one like mother and her 2 children who like finally has had enough and like decides to come, but like for the most part, these people are here to stay.
Exactly. I figured as much, but you know, you got to make the offer.
Absolutely. No, that's very true. So,
I was gonna go down to help evacuate people too, if I could.
If like
try to convince them.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, if you wanted to go to the surface, there's nobody stopping you, but like, it's definitely the same thing. You would also probably get like dirty looks from people that you suspect are probably Maquis, who like spit at your feet because they know that you're the one who like sabotaged their plans. And like most people, for you specifically, Archer, would probably just like close the door in your face.
All right, well, I'm still gonna go, and I'm just gonna just take in my mistakes and look in the eyes of the people that feel betrayed and let myself sit with that.
Okay.
Oof.
Learning to be a captain.
So, is anyone, because you 2 are recovered enough to like go like back about your duties. You have light duty for a few days. Are you doing anything? Do either of you return to the surface with Archer? I'll
go.
Okay.
I'll do it.
So these 3 return to the surface to try and talk to and or convince. And I'm sure, Dren, if you wanted to as well, but you already talked to Hudson. If you wanted to try and convince people, if Archer is with you...
Hold on. If they're going down there to try and convince people to leave, then I'm going to stop that.
Oh yeah, you could like you would have to give a reason why you're transporting down to the surface.
Well, Archer was just going to go alone to like sit with her sadness.
Okay,
like,
so I guess then, Archer, what reason do you give in the logs for needing to beam down to the surface?
Just to learn, pretty much just a Starfleet learning experience, history, to see, to document what these people went through, and to document for future Starfleet officers how this situation went down and the anger that it caused in the local population.
So, like,
now, quick question.
Yeah.
Before she goes, does that have to, like, to transport down transport down to the surface? Does that have to go up to me to approve it? Or
No.
can you just go back and forth?
Because you are remaining around the planet to do these kind of like interviews with the citizens to try and like report back to Starfleet like evidence of Cardassian mistreatment. That's your mission. If that were a task that she were assigned to, then that would be within her purview.
Okay.
If she were assigned to a task that would have her remain on the ship and she asked to go down to the surface, then obviously like they would be like, that's not, what you're supposed to do. But like I would say that if you, the captain, say that that was within her like tasks, that she could like be allowed to do that, then
Well,
no role
here's-
is necessary. Otherwise, in order to do this without your permission, she would have to like convince the transporter person to let her go down.
No, my orders would be anybody transporting down to the surface. No one goes alone.
Okay. So
And I'll ask Kepler to go with me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
so you two go to the transporter room. And the transporter chief who is on duty is an Andorian man, blue-skinned, weird head things, and antenna, that's the word. And he looks up your like current duties and says the captain hasn't marked you two for surface responsibilities. Should I I'll just send through a request.
Yeah, sure. You can do that.
Okay, so he's just gonna send like a quick like ding to probably actually to whoever's in charge of like the duty roster, which usually isn't the captain, it's usually the first officer. Would that be the case in the way you run your ship, Dren? Do you take care of the duty roster for the whole ship, or is that SAR's job, or?
No, that's the second in command.
Okay, so he would quickly like send up to SAR that Archer and Kepler are requesting permission to beam down to the surface.
Mm-hmm. Like, did you like how I passed the buck there, bud?
I mean,
Buttery
typically,
Buttery smooth.
Yeah, typically, from my experience, the like tasks goes to the second officer, the first officer.
That was my thing. I wasn't trying to pass a buck, but it seems like duty
very
roster
convenient.
stuff would not be in my purview.
Yeah.
It's just that if I'm playing my character properly,
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
I need to.
Do it. I'm
For what
down.
reason would they be going to the surface?
And the like you hear the transporter chief be like, "What reason do you have for going down to the surface?"
We're trying one last ditch effort to find evidence of the Cardassians actually breaking the treaty. We're trying one last attempt.
Commander
Sar.
Sar, they appear to be looking for evidence of Cardassian mistreatment of Federation colonists as per our directive.
I would like to belay. Unless they have the opportunity, unless they have devices that could record and provide some sort of visual or audible proof.
They both have their
That's what here.
tricorders, and
We have two suitcases here of equipment.
they both have their equipment, engineering equipment, and tricorders, sir.
It's going to be very unlikely that any of them would pay attention to us at this point, but ensure that they have direct contact with myself and or the captain in case they need to be brought aboard very quickly.
I'll keep a transporter lock, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So you have permission, and the transporter chief will beam you down to the surface. Are you going to the city, or are you going to the more pastoral town that you went to the first time?
Oh, we'll go to the city,
Okay.
probably. Actually, Archer, do you think we would go? Where would we go? Would we go to the city, or would we go try to find evidence like inside the Cardassian area?
probably try to find it inside the Cardassian area.
Yeah, because they're like busy doing other stuff right now, right? Like it would be the perfect opportunity to kind of sneak in and see if maybe they have either an email chain or anything saying what they want to do.
Star
you
Trek
know?
email chain. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
or we can just
something.
we can even interview them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You could totally go to the security office, which is like right now there's a little like future scaffolding on one side of the building where they're like reinforcing from the explosion that happened. The foliage is like there's a central like completely burned out area, and then like the foliage is like brown, and then like the sides of the building there's like the blackened a bit. You beam down probably like a little ways away from that area because they'd be like careful not to just like, hey, let me set you down right where you were exploded that other day. Yeah, so are you gonna go into the Cardassian security office? Also, real quick, Kepler, if you could give me a daring and engineering roll.
Yep.
For what you just DM'd me.
Oh.
Focus, I assume?
Yes. Okay. All right.
So was that a...
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, so you're on the surface. What is it you want to do?
Well, I think we'll probably go to the main building, I guess, and we'll interview people.
Okay. So you approach the Cardassian security office, and they have two soldiers standing on duty at the door. Of course, like you'd probably have to give your credentials. They would really quickly like check them with the ship, and then clear you to come in. If you wanted to talk to anyone in particular, like anyone in charge of like one thing or another. Otherwise, most of the Cardassians are either tight-lipped and like I'm working, or like very sarcastic with you, like yeah, let's help you. Yeah, totally, we're totally gonna do that. If there was anyone in particular, like anyone who was like in charge of something in particular.
Is there any opportunity that we might have to, while one of us is interviewing, the other one is like on the computer systems or anything like that?
They would not let you touch their computers. Not within eyesight. No.
Amazing. Okay.
Absolutely not. You would have to like find a way to like, you would have to try and get into a place where they weren't watching you.
Okay.
What if I set a fire?
Oh my god.
Well,
What?
how do you really feel?
Oh, we need to find evidence, so...
There's
if we
ways
can-
to do that that aren't setting
Yeah.
a fire.
I agree with
Okay.
that. I don't think we should start a fire.
Okay, so yeah, Archer's just like, and
Yeah,
Kepler's
what
like,
if I start a fire? No, Archer. No. Let's not start a fire. But perhaps...
I would say that you could roll to try and like find an empty office.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's
like,
better.
Yeah, that's a better idea than
I just
trying to light a
holding a
fire.
Look,
Okay,
it's hard.
so
My roleplay characters bleed together sometimes.
if you would like, it would be and who's taking the lead on this?
Oh,
Because
boy.
I definitely say that someone could be a distraction, and
man.
and that would be the assistants. And
Archer
then,
has to be the distraction, though.
Okay.
okay, so then you'd be taking the lead on finding the place, Kepler. So this would be insight and security.
Oh boy. I maybe shouldn't have been the one to do that.
And then Archer, you'll be helping with either presence or daring,
Ooh, I'll use daring.
and probably command or security, either one.
Okay, I have the same score, so.
Okay. So you'll roll task roll 1, Archer, and then you're rolling your regular dice, Kepler.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think the that was not 2.
Oh, dear God.
So I don't think either of you have. You can buy a threat, and that will give you an extra die. If you buy 3, that would give you 2 die. The regular difficulty would be 2, because this is literally a security office. I was going to say it would be 3. So you could buy more dice with threat. You don't have momentum at this point.
I'll do it.
Okay, so how many dice are you buying?
We need 3 successes, right?
Yes.
And we've only got 1.
So you're buying 3.
So I'll buy.
Oh, so you're
well,
buying 2 die with 3 threat points.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
Oh God, sorry. I hope this doesn't screw us over. I'm literally the reason everything's gone to haywire. Okay.
So do the same roll again, basically.
Please. Oh, for the love of Pete. Oh,
Okay.
thank goodness.
So
Okay.
it seems really close for a minute. What are you doing to what's your distraction tactic, Archer?
Oh,
Not lighting things on fire.
no, I'm just gonna start like, I'm gonna talk to one of them and be like, I admire your culture so much. I really just, can you just tell me so much more about your laws? Your laws are just so functional.
Okay, so you're basically just like, don't look that way. I'm really interested in what you have to say. Like you go.
Well, I'm giving them like, I'm just like stroking their egos because I've seen them be extremely egotistical everywhere.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So you trying to interview people. You finally find someone who seems to actually be like somewhat kind and receptive to you.
right.
And then you try and distract them while Kepler goes next door and is like, all right, let me just like fiddle with this doorway. This one's not working. Let me go to this other one.
Right.
And like you distract them long enough for her to break into an office.
Cool.
So
And at the end, I'm just like, yeah, torturing people totally works. And I like, let's.
it's called interrogation.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, Kepler, you've got an office. It has a console. There's no one in here right now. I have enough threat to put someone in here whenever I want, so you better get shit done.
Okay. I would like to very quickly try to access the computer system, I guess, and see if I can find anything, literally anything that is proof of them, like whether or not they posted these ships that were coming in to intercept them, anything like that.
Okay,
Like,
so
I doubt
the
they would
first
have
roll
anything,
is
but I'm
to
gonna try.
gain access
Okay.
to their computer, and that's going to be control and, I mean, definitely engineering. Yeah, that's a computer. You
Okay.
can get through, like, figure out a way around the security system, basically.
Can I use my value of it's not over till the fat lady sings? Of
Yeah.
my absolute tenacity? Okay. Yes. Okay. Please.
Sorry, this is a 3 again.
Oh, okay. So do you want me to just roll one more, like again, or re-roll?
Like, just next time, sorry, like, that was my bad because I didn't say it, but next time, just wait till I tell you what the difficulty
Oh,
is.
yeah,
before
sure,
you
sure,
roll. You already rolled? Oh, shit.
Nope.
Well, that first one with the 1 and the 2, to belay the last one, you're fine. Just
Sorry.
So you can access the computer and
Okay.
you'll always be rolling 2 dice unless you're assisting, in which case it'll be 1, or unless you
Okay.
buy 1, in which case it'll be more. But if the difficulty is different, you just have to get more successes, and you can buy things with threat. You can use momentum. You can use your determination. You can have someone assist you if you don't have enough. Like, those are the ways. But it's fine. You got it.
Okay.
You got access to the system. So what is it that you're looking for specifically? You're trying to find.
I'm trying to find proof that they've been breaking the treaty. So either the main things that they were telling us were that they were intercepting ships with medical supplies and things like that.
Okay.
Any trace of that, whether it be coordinates to those ships coming into the space with orders, anything like that. I hope.
Okay,
Proof of
so you are, let's see, this would be con
Okay.
and
Oh, God.
and control. you're just like going through a
Okay.
system. So you could definitely get help if you wanted to. Archer's there.
Yes, please, Archer, help me. I have one con.
Okay, yeah, I'll help. I'll go away from talking about the.
I mean, you
benefits
already
of-
distracted enough for her to get in
Right.
there, so
Yeah.
like,
Okay, cool.
you don't have to
So-
be talking to
so I
him
can
this
just
whole
be like,
time. Yeah.
hey.
Okay, cool. So I'll go in there. What do I need to roll?
Do you have her assist you, or do you say like, "I got us in. Can you do this?"
Yeah, I say I got us in. Can you do this?
Okay, cool.
Like, I'll just talk
Okay.
to you on
So
comms
then
here.
Archer will be the one to make the roll.
Okay.
This is con and control, Archer.
Okay.
And I would say for like, this is a difficulty 2. The more successes you get, the more information you'll get.
Okay. Should
Can I
I?
assist her?
And you can assist her, yes.
Okay.
You'll be assisting. How are you helping her out?
I assume she's probably. Are you telling me what to do and I'm just following your instructions?
No, because that would be her assisting you.
Oh, okay, okay. So I
Maybe
might
you're telling
look
her what to
over her
look for? Okay,
Yeah,
so she
I'm-
gets 2. If you want to try and get more successes, you can still help, yeah.
Yep. Okay. I will still help. Maybe I'll notice something that she missed and I'll click on, or
Okay, so it could be, maybe it's insight and...
shoot. Sorry. I missed
don't...
that. On control. I'm sorry. I thought it was okay. Control.
Uh,
I thought- So insight and
I would say like use your knowledge of command to like have an idea of like how
Where
this
they
would be
hide
like
this?
worded or where it would be. Yeah.
okay.
So same roll but with
Sorry.
insight and command. Okay, so you get 1 extra success, which
Yay.
would go to momentum if you want to use that immediately to get more information, or
What do you want to do? Yeah, I think we should.
okay.
I think this is going to
Yeah.
save lives. I think both of our characters would.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. So what you get is entering the system, you can very quickly download the reported movements of Cardassian ships in the sector, which you can then later check back on to see whether or not these reported movements are coinciding with any of the fleet movements or cargo movements of Federation ships. So that's something that you can check on later if you would like to. Surface level as well, you're able to look up logs of Federation citizens that have been interrogated by the
Ooh.
Cardassians, which you could check against like people who are missing or anything like that. You also have logs of, and these were recorded. All of the interrogations were also recorded, and there are several people who have been accused of being Maquis, whose trials have been recorded. Every single one of them has come up with a guilty verdict, obviously,
surprise,
because
surprise.
it's a Cardassian trial, and they don't put them on trial unless they already know they're guilty. So several of these trials have also been recorded, and you can locate them in the security office's files. These are the like surface things, like if you check back, like this is all within Cardassian law, and probably the movements of these ships are like not like, maybe they're close to a supply run, but like there's no proof that they did anything. But when you check a little bit closer, you're able to notice that in some of the, like where you find the interrogation files, there is also like a secondary layer of like encoded message, which you can like download basically to whatever device you have and try and decode it later. You don't know
Okay.
what it says at this time,
Okay. Okay.
but you definitely get some
Oh.
like not like publicly known like information with that second with the
Sweet.
third success there.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Totally against the rules, but hopefully the captain will forgive us.
I mean, you're there to get proof. It's not necessarily legal, but and then you wanted to roll something else as well.
Yeah. Can I do that now?
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna say this could be control and security, because you're trying to do it so that no one can notice, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be difficulty 3. If Archer wants to help, she can.
Archer, you
Yeah,
gonna
I
help?
do.
Okay.
Okay, Archer, you will roll 1 die, and you'll be rolling, I think it's still either control or insight, and maybe command, maybe security, whichever you'd like.
Okay. 1 dice, you said?
1 for you, 2
Okay.
for Kepler.
Okay.
Okay, so that was difficulty 3. Maybe you shouldn't have spent that momentum early.
I know.
I have 1 momentum left.
What's that from?
I don't know. It's just on my thing.
Okay, because I like you.
I was like, I don't know.
I'm taking it off your thing.
Okay. Okay.
Roll 1d20.
Oh please. Oh please.
Wait, just roll again.
Just roll 1, yeah.
Okay.
Oh fuck, okay, I should have done that. Yeah, you're successful. It happens.
Yay!
You do it.
Okay. Okay. Can we beam back up to the ship?
Not from
Oh.
within the security office, no.
Okay. Can
All
we
right.
can we discreetly leave?
So we'll loudly leave and be like, I learned so much.
Oh, okay.
Just
All
like,
right.
God,
We'll loudly leave.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. This will go into the history books of how great you guys are.
Good job, you guys. You did it.
Yay.
Okay, so you return to the ship.
Mhm.
And you need to file a report on what you've gotten. Do you tell the captain that you like basically hacked into the Cardassian? Okay,
Yep.
so
I'm
let's
gonna be honest with him.
do that
Let
then.
him punish me, but I think I did the right thing. So
So that's the next
Okay.
the next scene. You return to the ship with this encoded message and this other information, and let's probably go to the senior officers meeting room, and you have this information that you're like giving to the captain. I'm assuming that everyone can be here in this instance.
Yep.
Yeah, let's have that scene. What do you say?
Captain, we've come across some information that we need decoded. Sar, hopefully you can help us with this. Everything's on the tricorder. I haven't actually submitted a report on what we found. I wanted to tell you first.
Do
We
I
went-
want to know how you got it?
No, don't ask.
Noted.
But we did come across this information that I would love to download here for Sar to take a look at and hopefully decode.
What exactly are we looking for, Commander?
We were looking for any proof that the Cardassians had broken the treaty. So this may turn up nothing, but it was encoded and encrypted on their systems.
Indeed.
Let's see.
Okay, so let me just real quick find what we need. I think that there's a section on this real quick. I don't remember. It's probably going to be let's see, what do you have? Sorry, I think it's I would say that either science or security on this, and then reason. You're looking
Sweet.
for like a method to the madness, basically, of like trying to break a code.
Right.
Difficulty, I mean, this is an encrypted Cardassian thing. They're definitely not gonna make it easy. I'm gonna say difficulty 4. And you can definitely get assistance. You could also
Yeah, I was
use
just trying to
the
find whatever focuses or values I have that could make that useful.
yeah. Let me see if the bell has anything. Sensor suites aren't really gonna help here, unfortunately. It's got a really advanced computer system, actually. So I would say that the bell could help you, and maybe Kepler.
Yeah, I will happily help.
Okay, so you're gonna roll your 2 dice, reason and science. It's difficulty 4. The Belle will use her computers, and I think this is like, it's just like the computing power. So let's go with engineering, basically. It's just like how well the computers can like run through different like algorithms. So we'll go ahead and do that for the ship. And then Kepler, you can roll. I think that you're doing engineering, like trying to get the computer to process this and like assist that way. And yeah, control is good. So you roll 1 die, and then SAR will roll 2, and the ship will roll 1.
Now, just out of curiosity, because the ship is assisting, am I able to use my technical expertise, or is that only if I'm the primary roller? Just so I know how the game works.
I'm not. What page is that? Your technical expertise?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. It just says whenever assisted by the ship's computer or sensors, re-roll a d20.
That's 100.
It's a talent.
Yeah, it's a talent. Okay, let me grab it. Talent 135. Okay, so engineering, what's it called? What's the talent called?
Technical expertise.
Okay. Technical expertise. Whenever you attempt a task, you're assisted by the ship's computers or sensors. I mean, yeah, you can re-roll the 1d20, which may be the ship's die. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. So the ship has 1 success. Go ahead and roll SAR and Kepler.
I'm trying to figure out, like, does complication range change at all?
Don't change it. Task rolls 2.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure I was rolling the right stuff.
Yes. God damn, Kepler. You don't even need to. You got 5 successes on 4 dice, so we can bank 1 in momentum.
Yes.
Which I will go ahead and put on the token layer. Okay, so you decode the message, and what comes up on the monitor is
please.
It's a map of the sector and of the Badlands. It's the entire demilitarized zone, and on it are the locations of the colonies on the Cardassian border, the locations of the colonies on the Federation border, and in the Badlands are several marks with notations that are suspected bases of Maquis that have been revealed through interrogation. Obviously, those portions of the actual interrogations where these came up were altered. But yeah, that's what you've got.
This is not definite proof.
Still decent.
It's pretty good.
It's
What do
pretty
you think,
damning
Captain?
evidence. Oh, shit.
I would say that the Cardassians have every right to look for terrorists within their territory.
It's compelling. That's for sure.
But what's Starfleet gonna do about this? Anything?
I don't know. I'm only in charge of this ship. If I were to guess, probably not a lot. They're not really breaking the rules. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We can stress it, we can talk to them, but our treaty with the Cardassians is tenuous at best, and it wouldn't take very much to set them off. So Starfleet is prepared to sacrifice the outlying colonies for the good of the peace. But I will relay this information. I will stress it, but it's the best I can do. I understand your concerns, Commander.
Yeah.
They're mine. I share them.
I know. I'm sorry we couldn't find more evidence, Captain.
No, it's all right. You did your job and you did it very well. Now, do you guys have those prosthetics yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, how are the new limbs treating you?
They're all right.
Commander Star, if you want to actually like make a roll to see like how well you did in those prosthetics, that could
Yes,
totally
please.
be a thing you do.
How do I do it?
That's control and medicine. And I would just say that it's a difficulty 0, and however many successes you get is like
How
That's with a focus, yes.
badass it is.
yes with a focus because
And
you have
the task roll
prosthetics.
is
2, just the regular 2.
click. Wait for it to show up.
They're not great.
How? How?
Oh, that's your
They'll
specialty.
They'll probably
Well, 'cause
have to be
it's
replaced.
It's hard to do prosthetics with one arm.
Say one of those momentums, right? Like,
We did. We have one momentum. Yes.
is it cool if we use the momentum to give us some decent fucking limbs? It's gonna affect us moving forward. Like,
Imagine you've just got like a can with like 2 claws.
I mean, the thing is like you'll just have to like redo it when you get to a starbase.
all right.
Like
No, this is what I figured. Like,
they're not great. Is the answer.
God damn it!
Ooh!
That's impressive.
What did you do to me, son of a bitch?
So,
I'm hurt.
I mean, actually, the doctor would have helped you. One sec. Let me just like
Sorry.
I'll be nice. She's rolling 1d20. I would say like her medicine is 5. Let's say lower than 15 because she's a doctor. Okay, so you have 1 success and 1 complication. So they'll work, but they might stop working. So I'll go ahead and put in the complication because you did get that 20.
My soul, man, my soul.
Okay, so prosthetic limbs? Question mark? Okay, so
Hold the limbs, maybe?
they work. It's fine. But you probably want to get a better one when you reach a starbase. So the captain asks you, how are those doing? And yeah, that's how they are. They're 1 out of, possibilities of more than 1. I can't believe you got 2 zeros.
I don't know how. Like,
It's fine. Continue, please.
They'll do for the time being, Captain. They're not my proudest work.
Well, the good thing about those kind of things is that you can always remake them better. And God damn it, I almost said $6 million man.
And
We can
faster.
remake him
And
better,
stronger,
stronger. Yeah. But so you got okay. We have this information.
Yep.
Okay. So I think what the Bellerophon is here to do is to remain here to see if anybody wants to teleport off the surface.
Which it's been several days, so you.
It has been? Okay.
Yes, because everyone was recovering in medical. Like, we did a little time skip. Your
right,
directives were to discover the location of Maquis bases in the Badlands, which you just got a fair amount of information, and evidence of Cardassian mistreatment of Federation colonists, which you have interviews and reports. You have recordings of trials and interrogations, which are legal in Cardassian law. They didn't across any lines there. So you have some stuff, but none of it is technically illegal in terms of the treaty. So, the bell, if you report these things back to Starfleet headquarters, they would basically say, good job, come back to Deep Space Nine for your next assignment.
If you report this, Captain, they're gonna take out these bases, aren't they?
They are terrorists.
If I report, I'm sorry, if I report what?
The Maquis
If you-
bases in the Badlands.
If you share the maps, they're gonna come and slaughter these people.
If I share the maps with the Cardassians?
With the
With
Federation.
Starfleet.
Okay, let's RP this out. If I share the locations of the Maquis bases with Starfleet, you think that Starfleet is going to come and wipe them out?
No, I think Starfleet will stand back and let the Cardassians do it. Because it is technically their space, and they're allowed to do what they want.
What do you suggest that we do? If we intervene, we'll be in direct violation of the treaty. The Cardassians, hate them however much you like, are on the right side of the law in this situation.
How can you say that? They're on the right side of the law, but are they on the right side? I just don't want a repeat of that previous incident.
I understand. But we have to look at the big picture. And we are Starfleet. We have to follow our orders. And sometimes that means doing things you don't like or you morally object to.
Do you think this is the right thing to do?
I just don't understand why it's so imperative for the Maquis, or excuse me, for the colonists to stay where they are. There's a whole galaxy of worlds out there. They can make their home anywhere. I understand they built the place, but
Isn't that what-
loyalty until, I mean, to defend a piece of land until you die just doesn't make sense to me.
Don't you think it's about the principle? Maybe it's not about the land. Maybe it's about the fact that they're supposedly free people and they're supposed to be there, and the treaty said that they could stay. And the Cardassians are doing everything to make them miserable, which isn't right. What they're doing isn't right, but we're going to stand back and let it happen
They're
because
bullying
it follows the rules.
Archer's been here the whole time. She's just really scared, and she just said they're bullying them.
I trust you, Captain. I just want to know from you that you think we're doing the right thing.
I don't think it's as easy as that. I think sometimes in order to create a better world or a better galaxy, sometimes wrong things have to be done. So are we doing the right thing? It's a gray area. In the long run, I think so. In the short run, no. To allow these people to be harassed, bullied, it's wrong. But to
What's to
risk
stop them from
saving them and risk war or a conflict with the Cardassians, that's a lot of lives, a lot of souls that will be lost due to that. And you know how eager the Cardassians are for anybody and anything to step out of line so they can have a show of force.
But what's to stop them from continually doing things behind the scenes? That's a lot of lives too. Over a lot of years that we stand back and do nothing.
Would I know how many like colonies and colonists, like a rough estimate of how many people, like in like thousands,
I'd
millions,
like to know
whatever?
that too. Like how many colonists are in their space?
Let me just check. There's several worlds that are occupied in the demilitarized zone.
Like I know from the actual history that the Cardassians end up doing a lot of damage, but my character doesn't know that, obviously. So
Yeah, so there are, it looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 planets in the demilitarized zone. Not all of them are on like the Cardassian side, but like it's probably around half and half. I'm not going to check each and every one of them right now to see if they're Federation colonies or not.
Sure.
But there's about 21 planets that are inhabited that are in the demilitarized zone, and all of those have people on them. Some are Cardassian and some are Federation.
Okay. What I think the takeaway of this is, and this should be, is that we're considering thousands of lives opposed to millions that would be lost during a war or during a conflict. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But I understand Starfleet's position on this. And I follow orders.
This is Glacius all over again. And I know my mind believes you made the right decision.
And given that decision 20 times, 100 times, I'd make the same one every time. And that's what I'm doing now. Does anyone else want to bring up any feelings, objections, anything? Commander Sar, do you have anything to say? Lieutenant Archer, you? Because our orders are now we've done our job. We report back to Starfleet.
Archer's
leave
just
this sector.
Silent.
I think I need a drink.
She'll follow.
I mean, you're not excused yet, so like.
Sadly, it seems we may not be able to do as much as we would have liked to help the remainders of the colonists under Cardassian rule. This is highly frustrating to me, as I do despise any being that would bully another. But we've done everything in our power to attempt to help the people here, and they have been given the opportunity to leave. Logically, if you are being mistreated in your current home, regardless of whether it is your true home or not, when given the opportunity to leave, you should. These people have chosen amongst themselves to stay.
You've never really been one to tolerate bullies, Sar. I'm surprised you find this so easy.
Easy is not the word that I would use, Commander.
Maybe it's just me then.
Oh, it is definitely a difficult decision. But were we to do anything other than return to Starfleet, we could be seen as treasonous. And we would very likely affect many more lives than those just on this colony. So I agree, it is a very difficult decision. It is not one that is made lightly.
All right.
That I'm happy about. It seems we have no other choice.
I think we've talked about this enough.
Thank
I
you.
made the
Captain.
decision. We're going to report back to Starfleet. Unless anybody has anything else to say, return to your post or return to wherever you're supposed to be, and we'll get underway.
Thank you, Captain.
Dismissed.
All right.
And I head out to the bridge to get ready to go.
Okay. So, you're preparing to leave orbit. of Volon 3 and leave these colonists and their Cardassian, not overlords, but definitely overlords, behind. Is there any last thing people would like to do before we warp away back toward DS9?
Yes.
I knew that there would be. Okay. So, what is it that you would like to do?
Can Archer and I be having a drink in her room or my room? One of the rooms? I guess I don't have a room. I sleep in my office.
No, everyone has quarters.
Okay, but I mean, I never.
I think Archer probably moped to her quarters, so you could probably join her there.
Join you.
Yeah, it makes sense that you're not always on duty. So like whether it's immediately afterward or like a few hours after while everyone's making preparations to be on their way, like there can be a time where you can have a conversation before you leave. Yes.
Okay. I would like to do that. I'm gonna buzz into your room.
All right.
It's me.
I'm just sitting there. And she's like on her bed and she has the detonator.
Are you sure?
She just looks at it and she says, I joined Starfleet to help people, not let them die.
If we're caught, we'll be court-martialed.
She's just like, maybe Starfleet wasn't for me after all. She
let me get us a drink.
And she pushes the button.
Okay. Please roll for me control and security or engineering.
Control and engineering. Okay, I'll do security.
Okay. No, not 1 die, 2 die.
Oh, 2 die. Sorry.
That's helpings, yeah. Okay,
can we use that momentum?
I mean, yes, you can use the momentum. Kepler, you could also have helped because you're the one that planted the damned explosives in the Cardassian security office. Those were those secret rolls. She rolled to make the explosives with materials already on board the ship, and then they rolled to plant them in the office in a place where they would not be found.
That's right.
And now we're rolling to, from a distance, detonate them. So you can help. Yours would be engineering and control. 1 die, Kepler. I don't think you should use the ship to help this because then it would be noticed.
No. Damn it, I wish I would have come for that drink.
Yeah.
I would love to help with this.
All right. Well, there you go.
I thought so. That's why I was like, bullies this. But I wasn't sure.
So a little while after this, you would intercept a report from the surface that the Maquis have been successful in planting explosives and detonating them in the Cardassian security office. It seems that they tried again and weren't caught this time because obviously this time they didn't have a Starfleet officer in their midst. And that's probably because you didn't fail on any of your rolls, specifically the ones to hide these devices. It'll probably take a while. Ordinarily, I would make a roll for the Cardassians to see whether or not they could identify that these were specifically Federation components, but the Maquis use Federation components all the time. So it will probably be blamed on them. And you're definitely responsible for a lot of Cardassian deaths. Good job. But the statement is made, and yeah, you blew you blew up a Cardassian security office. Um, if you have anything else to say to any members of the crew before, let's say, like, this is just like a report that is like it's like a radio. It's just like generally broadcast that you would receive as you're getting ready to go. I would say that this is like the next morning. You're all at your positions on the bridge, and you're at comms, right, Kepler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you received the information that the security office has been destroyed. Do you report it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Captain, I've
Yes.
just received information that the security office has been destroyed.
Excuse me?
It appears as if an explosive was planted after we recovered the previous explosives, and it was detonated successfully.
The Cardassians assured me that they got all of the rest of the explosives.
Well, they must have missed one or more.
Mm. Well, contact Starfleet. Let them know what happened. Let them know the Maquis somehow got through and set the explosives up. And just real quick, do I get any
I mean, you
feeling
can read their minds if you
can
want
try.
to.
surface emotions?
What are
Without reading?
Okay, so
Oh,
are
yeah.
you attempting to because this is just surface thoughts or just emotional response. This is not like your actual like thoughts. So
Definitely conflicted. If you gauge me, you gauge, pride, feeling like they deserved it, but also conflicted, just like that. But, many people will suffer for this, and makes sense.
All right.
And Archer, Sar, are you having any feelings that the captain would be able to like just surface level feelings, not thoughts?
I think Archer's just feeling like, which he probably would have already read from her, which is that she still feels that the colonists were really suffering. So she's just hoping that that this will help them. So it's like just a feeling of hope for them not getting annihilated, maybe.
And then Sar? I mean, you have like more of a hold on your emotions. If you want to just be your regular old like Vulcan logic self, that's fine. That wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
I think the only thing that Sar is thinking when this happens is,
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Oh no!
Would you like to dig further in like actually read thoughts in any of these people? Because that would be a roll. Otherwise, they've told you what's basically surface level for them.
Well,
Let me check your values.
home is where we make it. Go with your gut. The chain of command keeps us afloat. There's always a solution.
Okay,
And
I'm
show-
gonna challenge your go with your gut value, and
Okay.
I think that this whole mission you've suspected that Kepler is being a little bit more emotional, and she already brought up what happened the last time, so you sense like pride and like also conflict with her, and I would like to challenge you, and I'll give you a point of determination to try and read further.
That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question and then read the surface thoughts. So
Okay.
I'm try to get a reaction. So immediately I'll get like what the surface thoughts of that reaction. So
Okay. Let me think about this for a
I
second.
get a little weird feeling from you.
Okay.
Nothing specific, and I look at you and I say, so do you think that the Maquis were able to sneak explosives in that were undetectable to either us or them? Do you think it's possible that they could have done that? And then I read whatever your next, like, whatever your thought is.
Okay. Do I roll to protect against that, or?
If you are actively trying to, like, shut down that, because you know that he's a betazoid, so you can definitely oppose this.
Sure.
In which case it would require a roll from the captain, which I think it's insight and command. And you're both rolling 2. For you, it's gonna be Roxy. You're gonna roll control.
Mm-hmm.
And probably security is what I can think.
So you want me to do insight and command?
Insight. Yeah, you're looking, you're trying to analyze, like, you're trying to, like, ask a specific question that will give you a better idea, and she's very, like, pointedly trying to, like, hold herself, like, in check, you know?
Okay. Am I using my focus? The go with your gut focus?
That's a value.
Oh, sorry. Never mind then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I roll and she does an opposed roll? How does that work?
Yeah, so basically whoever gets more than the other person will be successful. And
I don't know why that rolled twice. I'm sorry. I literally only
you
hit
need
it
to be
once.
rolling 2 die.
Okay.
It's so...
yeah, just do the same thing one more time. Right?
Control and security. Yeah, you can... There. So that's... You get 2 successes.
Okay.
Not challenge dice. You're rolling task.
Wrong one. There we go.
And you get 1. So she effectively, like, is just a neutral slate.
Okay.
Unless you would like to get more successes with that determination. But
Can you get 3?
you would get 2 auto successes with a determination, yes.
Oh, fuck yeah, then.
Okay. So then he asks you, do you think the Maquis were capable of this? And, like... This is not just, like, your emotional reaction. This is, like, what actual thoughts, like, enter your head when he asks this question.
Oh my God. But I feel like I would like to give you this, but my first reaction was like, well, yes, because now we're Marquis, I guess. But I think that would just confuse you. So, and I feel like you earned an inkling that we did this. So let me just think about that for a second. You said, do you think they would be capable of doing this?
Like, you can answer the question. You could say out loud one thing and think another.
I think the question was, could the Maquis have planted these explosives without the Cardassians or us noticing, or on the, like, picking them up on scanners or stuff like that.
Yeah. I will probably think probably not, and then I will have a thought that is like, but I'm going to say that my meticulous scrutiny and pride in my work is going to be my downfall in this moment, and I'm just going to be like, of course they couldn't. That's why I did it.
And then out loud you say...
It's possible.
So that's what you get. And I think that, like, unless you're going to, like, immediately plop her in the brig or question her more, I think that's where we should end.
I like that. Cliffhanger.
No.
Leave you wanting more.
Beautiful.
No.
So...
Sorry that we...
No, you guys wanted to do
serious.
something and you made the rolls. It's 100% legitimate. This is a thing that happens in a lot of Starfleet history. The Federation, the Maquis are made up of Starfleet officers and Federation colonists who rebelled, and a lot of active duty Starfleet officers do go to the side of the Maquis. So it just so happens that you didn't abandon your ship yet.
Right.
Yeah. they also know, we know that they do, and the Cardassians do end up, you know, striking back and doing a lot of damage.
Oh,
So
yeah.
potentially this could be what started that. Like, we know that from the history. So that's kind of cool. Also, I would just like to say that PB totally sided with the captain. I believe that is sound logic, sir. That is the right thing to do. I just don't think it fits with Kepler's history. Like,
Yeah.
And poor Archer is just so lost because she feels like she's done everything right, but she can't help at all. So finally, she was just like, maybe this isn't for me.
If this were a ongoing show, this would definitely be the end of a story arc, in which case we would go ahead and give milestones. That's another aspect of the Star Trek Adventure system, that if you're playing an ongoing game, you can do that at home. I think that we're going to go ahead and choose not to for the moment, but if we come back to this, this would be where you could change values, you could add a number to one of your attributes or disciplines, you could change out a focus, so that would be where your character can advance in these ways. And then we would also give out reputation for like following directives and etc. So if we were continuing on, this would be the case where we do that. If we do end up doing a season 2 sometime down the line, which I think we all really enjoyed this, so if timing in the future works out, like another mini series could be in the cards. It's just, we're all very busy people. That will be something that we will also address if this ever comes back. If it doesn't, though, there's a lot of other cool things that these people are doing that you can go and see them do. So let's go ahead and start with DJ. Where can people find you?
Oh, hi. You can find me right here, twitch.tv/DeejayKnight. I don't stream daily anymore. Thank merciful. Oh, it's just nice to not stream every day. Holy crap. I stream a lot. Space, sci-fi, and variety are my jam. I also host with First Robotics on occasion. So I have been lucky enough to go and be a host for their events, and it's basically a program that teaches students robotics or STEM essentially by teaching them with building robots from kindergarten up. So it's a pretty awesome program, and not everybody that's in it wants to like build robots. There's people who like do web design and stuff like that. So like that's a beautiful thing that I'm having a blast with it, and this has been amazing. I gotta say that. Thank you guys for inviting me to this. This has been absolutely awesome, and it's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Very, very cool. Thank you, DJ. And where can we find you, Lieutenant Lily, when you're not here?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself because
It's
Paco
okay.
was tooting. Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Commander Holly or Commander Holly everywhere else. And yeah, I stream a lot also on the D&D channel, so the twitch.tv/D&D channel, I am there quite a bit. And I stream at Bluejay on Wednesdays when we play Stardew Valley, which is super fun. And yeah, no, this was awesome. You were a great GM for this.
Oh, thank you.
I would love to play more, because like having all of us know a lot about Star Trek and stuff, and like just having that, like being able to do that, the role play was really super fun and awesome. So.
Even though a lot of words completely escaped me right when I needed
it doesn't
them.
matter.
It's fine.
They made half of them up anyways.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Okay.
But it was amazing. So yes, thank you guys. It was wonderful. I'll come back anytime.
Awesome. And Zeke, where can people find you when you're not being Hulk Hogan, or when you are?
You can find me anywhere: Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all @/Ezekiel_III. I broadcast usually at noon Pacific most days that I'm not doing role playing. Tomorrow I'm doing the drop frames. I think we're doing drop frames like co-op No Man's Sky.
What?
Because of the new patch and shit. So I've never played it. I've never played it. So
I actually liked it when it first came out. Like, people were really mad, and I thought it was great.
I am that dude. So many people got mad at that game, and it's like, don't follow every bit of stitch of news about the games you like. That's the best advice I could say on stuff like that.
Yep, I agree with that. I don't watch trailers or anything. I mean, I was upset when that game came out just because, like, I was in my I was legit in my flight suit, hitting play, and it wouldn't loot up. So I was,
well, if it doesn't work, then that's
I was traumatized.
Yeah. But where can people find you, PB? And will you also be playing No Man's Sky?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Now that I know, hopefully, hopefully it works. But yes, I am PB, aka Brutus. I'm kidding. You can find me at twitch.tv/Pumpkinberry. Please don't hate Kepler too much. Yeah, and I mostly do narrative games on my channel, but I have some really cool, exciting tabletop stuff coming up. I'm going to be in a show with Bluejay, which I don't think we can talk about yet.
We can't, but it's
we're
happening.
going to be in a show together, which is going to be pretty cool. And I am also on Table Story on Friday nights doing Masks Identity Crisis, which is pretty cool. And I am on their upcoming show Darkfire as well. So super cool stuff coming. So thank you so much for having me. Bluejay, you were incredible. Oh my God, Zeke, you were the best captain. Best captain. You made
You guys were all
hard,
amazing.
tough
It was
So
awesome.
good.
so good. DJ, you were half Vulcan. Like that was so incredible.
Thank you.
That was so incredible. And Archer, like you changed my mind. You gave me feelings. I was like, oh, this is fine. I can follow the logic. But what part was it that you said they're starving? And I was like, that's it. That's
No.
The emotional
Yep.
lieutenant,
No.
just straight from the academy.
I
That was
know.
you were the comedic relief as well, which I
know.
really
I
enjoyed.
can't help it.
It was good.
I'm the worst. I had to make a goof.
I'm glad that I finally got to roleplay with Zeke because I've been wanting to do that forever, and I'll get to roleplay more with Pumpkinberry, and now I just have to find another show to be in with DJ because I'll have to watch what you're doing in the future. As for me, I'm here. This is my channel, twitch.tv/Bluejay. You can also find me and everything that I have been doing roleplay-wise on bluejay.tv/portfolio. That's where I put links to everything that I do. I think like 29 shows in the last 2 years. So much things for you. And then this was the finale, so there's not another show on Monday. So I guess I'm gonna miss you guys, but we'll be doing more stuff together, I'm sure. So I look forward to that in the future, and I hope that everyone watching enjoyed themselves and had a great time, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a good one.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, everyone.